evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, back after a few weeks for an explosive metal update. I hope you're all doing well in this virus-filled apocalypse that we now find ourselves in. I myself am working from home as instructed by my company and just enjoying music while getting on with work, and it's the best you can do, really, isn't it? So let's go through this list of things that I have been stockpiling for the last month. Start with the tapes, just a few here. The first one here is demo from a band called Mistcavern with the title of Winds of Misery, a band definitely in the heart of the mid-90s. That second wave sound has a really nice sound, like something like early Gehenna. Soft layer of keyboards through it, but it's got a real warm black metal, not too fast, not too slow, just that nice 90s sound. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's a demo out on Iron Bonehead. And, cool cover, black tape. Nothing too much to see. But yeah, 3 tracks, really solid stuff. Curious to see what these guys come up with afterwards. Hopefully a full length at some point. Nice logo as well. It's Mistcavern. And pretty sure this is a US band. Ulcerot, how good's that logo? Blends straight into the cover. Ulcerot with the demo Nekaratu. Obviously death metal on Extremely Rotten Productions. Really solid stuff. Again, another demo, handful of tracks. Really cool logo on the case there. Just 2 tracks, there you go. But really shows promise for a full length, hopefully in the future. Really good stuff. There's a 7-inch as well, if you wanted to go that path, but I like demos on tape. Next one. This was a really good Discogs pickup. Usually Discogs means expensive, but I was very lucky to find this. This is Diocletian's first demo, the early reissue. And yeah, it's fantastic. It's a really raw sound, more stripped back than their albums, I think. New Zealand band, if you've never heard of Diocletian, straight up war metal, though it's not as like face ripping as their later albums. There's a bit more room to breathe on this demo, and I think that actually works really well. So that's Diocletian Demo 1 from 2005. And yeah, really happy to get this for not much money from a local seller. So happy about that. Also happy to pick up this one. Oh dear. The current current mini darlings in the death metal underground, Sanguizugabob. And I'm sure I've got that wrong. But Sanguizugabob. Bog. There you go. Strangest name. Album is Pornographic Seizures. 13 minutes, 3 tracks of Neanderthal death metal. It is so much fun. Awesome production. Really thick guitar tone. Really good vocals. And dumber than a bag of hammers. It really is stupid stuff, but really enjoyable. And that fantastic logo that is impossible to decipher. Sanguizugabob. And there's this tape. There is a CD. And if you're lucky, which you won't be, there's an LP. But yeah, only 3 tracks on Maggot Stomp. Good stuff. And the last tape, very happy to get. This is a 3-way split between US bands Unnatural, Rotted, and Fetid Zombie. Really nice cover there. 1 track each from each of the bands. Very cool. And I think the Rotted track is my favourite. Big fan of Rotted, got the album. Unnatural, it's got a really dark sound as well. And Fetid Zombie's more, it's got like an early Pestilence sound to it, sort of thrashy. And the vocals have got that early Asphyx sound to it. All 3 are really good, but the Rotted track, definitely my favourite. Coalescing Putrefaction is the name of the 3-way split. And it's really awesome. See if you can get a copy. I think it's probably sold out from the 3 bands, but you never know. And hopefully they'll reissue it on 7-inch or something. So I had a good run picking up some used CDs. This one from Celestial Season, Forever Scarlet Passion. I think it's their first album. On Atapoca Records, which is not something you find very often, distributed through Relapse. Yeah, really nice. It's not quite Death Doom, but it's deathier than just Doom. Does that make sense? It's Doom metal. It's not as flowery as the clothing may suggest there, but it is. It's not as brutal as something like Winter, but it's really good stuff. Celestial Season, and that '90s deathish doom metal, but mainly doom metal. 9 tracks there, and I really dig the aesthetics on a lot of these '90s CDs. You know, they're just basic, just nice looking covers and things like that. They just, I don't know. I find the artwork on '90s CD releases to be quite, I don't want to say refreshing. I don't know. It's just a nice thing. I don't know. Nice touches to these albums, and yeah, it's a really good sound as well from Celestial Season. I listened to the album after this one. Didn't think too much of it. Can't remember what that was called. But this one I really enjoyed, so yeah, recommend that album at least. Next one I picked up, the second album, I think it's the second album, maybe it's the third, from Unholy, From the Shadows. Really good. I have, the other one was is it the Second Ring of Power? I think that's the name of it. But I prefer this one, From the Shadows. This is the early reissue on Avant-Garde from '99. The Lethal Records one would be much harder to get, but still quite a collectible, this one. This is bordering on funeral doom at points. It's really quite slow and dirgy. Just a big dirge to it. Really, really good stuff if you can handle the pace. It rarely breaks above 0. Really quite slow and definitely doomy. So yeah, recommend this one, Unholy, From the Shadows. Another early one. This is the Tristania EP, an early one on Napalm Records. I like the early Napalm Records stuff. 4 tracks, and this is where I leave this band. This EP is good. It's doom metal with a lot of gothic overtones, but the full length that followed this really went down the gothic metal path, and everything from there just got more gothic and less metal. But this EP, the self-titled Tristania one, is really quite good. Lots of keyboards, a little bit of female vocals, but it's still doom metal with a bit of goth in it. So yeah, Tristania's self-titled EP, Napalm Records, NPR 036. Really happy to get this one. Cost me literally nothing, like about the price of a coffee or something. Okay, this one, this band, which is upside down, is called Murder, Rape, and Evil Returns is the name of the album. Stupid name for a band, Murder, Rape. But this ticks a lot of the boxes that I enjoy. It's 90s black metal. It really is quite sluggish. It's got a sound a bit like the first Samael, or first couple of Samael albums. It's got a terrible logo. It's on Evil Horde Records, and I think from memory, there was some amusing photos. If I'm thinking of the right one. There we go. Proper 90s. They're beautiful. Ah, dear. Yep, mid-90s, black metal. It's really quite standard stuff. I don't know why I like it. It really can't explain why I like it, but yeah, I do. It's just easy to put on, this one. It's, yeah. I guess because it's quite so straightforward and reminds me a bit of early Samael that I quite like it. So that's the stupidly titled Murder, Rape, and Evil Returns. I was happy to find this one. Australian band from late 90s, early 2000s, Miscreation. Did one demo and then this CD, and I think called it a day. Album is Aeond, out on the defunct Dissident Records. Sort of a real technical, brutal death metal sound, a bit like Suffocation and Psychroptic sort of mixed together. Probably more on the Psychroptic sound, but yeah, this is really quite good. I preferred their EP from back then, but I never managed to get a copy of it. But this is good, and it's also very out of print. So again, happy to find it. Miscreation, Aeond. Definitely worth picking up, or at least having a listen to if you can. If you like, bands like early Psychroptic and any era of Suffocation, you'll probably like Miscreation. The last CD, absolute classic. Atheist, Unquestionable Presence. The original Active Records pressing. Stoked to find this. So one of those ones that I have had their first album and their third album for the first album for 15 years, and the third album, Elements, for at least a decade. And for some reason, I never managed to pick up their best and their second album, Unquestionable Presence. And now I have. Really stoked to pick it up. Pretty much new condition. Awesome stuff. Yes, it's been reissued a million times, but I always try to get the originals if I can. It just makes it more fun. Atheist, Unquestionable Presence, unquestionably their best album. And on to the LPs. This one is really awesome. This is the Imprecation and Black Blood Invocation split 12-inch. Awesome aesthetics on this one. Really great stuff. Imprecation being a US band, and Black Blood Invocation a Greek band. This is on Helter Skelter, and both play a really dirty, thick, death black sound. Particularly Black Blood, they are bordering on war metal in some of their sound there. Highly recommended. Each band gets one side of the LP, and it's still in press. You can get it on tape and CD as well, I think. So if you've never heard Imprecation, they've been around forever. Did an album a couple of years ago, and back in the 90s did a sort of demo that got repressed onto CD on Repulse Records way back when. All their stuff is good. Got a real vile sound to them. Definitely recommend. And Black Blood Invocation, a relatively new band with just a demo and this split under their name so far. Both worth checking out, so please do. The next one, this is Sulphuric Night, with their debut. I think it's their debut album. Can't remember the name of it, to be honest. It's written there somewhere. Yeah, I don't remember that is. Yeah, something. Anyway, I probably should have researched that before I started speaking about it. This is Sulphuric Night on Black Gangrene, and probably quite limited. I don't remember how many this was limited to. Might still be around. Really nice black metal. The cover just tells you what it's going to sound like in this case. It is just straight up black metal. No frills, no fancy stuff. It's just nice black metal that you would expect from Black Gangrene. Definitely their style. I don't know what else to say about this one. It's really good, and you should definitely check it out. Sulphuric Night. Just straight ahead black metal. But sometimes that's all you want. So check it out, Sulphuric Night. This band is called Vaal, V-A-A-L. And this is, without a doubt, one of the better Burzum clones that I've heard. Definitely trying their best, or his best. It might be a one-man band, I'm not too sure. Sound like Havisla Taros. Definitely trying. On New Era Productions. Still in press, I believe. It's a single one-man band from Vaal. So, if you like early Burzum, then you will like Vaal. It doesn't reinvent anything. It doesn't set out to try to do that. It's just a cool sounding atmospheric black metal. Ticks all the right boxes for me. Definitely check it out. It should easily be available. Like I said, I think Iron Bonehead might even have some, and NWN, so check that out. Another really good one, this is Tirani, Swedish band. I showed their demo a few months ago, and I said that I really couldn't wait for a full length, and here we are. It's finally come about. Again, I won't try and pronounce that name, I'll just butcher it, but the band is Tirani. Full band here. Just ripping Swedish black metal, really good stuff. Lots of trem picking, real tight sound. Another one, a new era. So yeah, check out Tirani. Highly recommend this one. Tyranni, Tirani. Awesome. Change of pace here. This is a band called Xantam. 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 Definitely one of the. Oh, this will be in my top 20 of the year, 2020. That's for sure. Might have even come out in December last year, but I'm going to call it a 2020. This is really, really impressive stuff. It's, I don't really know how I could say it sounds like. I suppose you could say it sounds a bit like Suffering Hour. It's death metal that's tinged with lots of other elements. It's quite creative. It's got very interesting riffs to it. It's kind of a tough one to describe. I think Suffering Hour is the best example I can say for a parallel, Xantam. And I dig this cover with the Cacodemon on it. Really cool. This is a mini LP. It's only got the 4 tracks, but I think it's 45 RPM from memory, so it goes pretty quick. But I've found myself just playing it over and flipping and then playing it again and then flipping. It's quite addictive, this one. So yeah, definitely check out Xantam. Awesome stuff. Another change of pace here. What a bloody cover this is. Band is called Worm, and the album is called Gloom Lord. New band, I think. This is Death Doom. Proper Death Doom. Sounds like Disembowelment and Inverloch. Then you're going to like this band, Worm. I love the green as well. Just fantastic. Green. All the green. Worm. Gloom Lord. Yeah. Like I said, if you like Death Doom, you like Inverloch and Disembowelment, then this is the style for you right here from Worm. Look at those high top white sneakers. Amazing. 2-piece band apparently. Drum, bass, and vocals, guitar, synth. Didn't realise that. But very, very good. Full-length album from them. So yeah, check out Worm. Everybody knows Ungwa. Their latest one, Age of Excuse. There is no excuse for not knowing Ungwa. Excellent album. Not quite as good as their previous one, but that would be incredibly hard to do. That one was in everybody's top 10 list for that year. But Age of Excuse is up there. I suppose the only complaint people have had about it is that it doesn't sound that much different from their previous albums, particularly the last one. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose. And Umgwa play that to a T on Age of Excuse. So yep, you know what it is. It's black metal, but the drummer is sensational. Really warm, organic sound to it. Bits of Take in the sound. Bits of everything. I mean, they're really quite Umgwa by this point. When you hear bands that sound like them, they're a band you can reference as a owner of a sound, definitely for sure. And yep, Age of Excuse, no excuse not to check it out. I'm full of the puns today, right? This next one is a brand new band. They're called Asgrau, Asgrauw, I think, from memory. I think I got that right. Damn font doesn't make it easy to translate. And the album, I think, was in that damn lettering there, is Ijval. I think it's an Ijsval. Anyway, it's sort of pagan sounding black metal. It's got big open sound to it. Bits of acoustic stuff. and it's really, really well done. Reminds me a bit of early Enslaved. And yeah, this LP, no, I won't take it out. It's a nice blue LP. It was limited to 100 on Death Cult Productions, so I was lucky to get that. But I think there's other formats you can get it on. There's a CD I think is forthcoming, so grab that, or at least check out the sound from this band. Yeah, I really recommend it. Asgraal and the Ijval album, which I probably pronounced incredibly badly, but anyway, definitely check them out. Good stuff. And next one, I got this one because buddy Brain Smasher was playing this in the background of one of his previous videos, Isgrim, and it's that real Marduk-y, Dark Funeral sounding black metal from the late 90s, and it's just full of big riffs. It's great sound to it. It's furious. It doesn't really stop. Very evil sounding, and this record is beaten up to shit, if you can't tell. I went searching for it when he was playing it, and I found a local Australian seller that had a LP on Discogs listed in fair condition, and they weren't wrong. This has surface noise up the wazoo, but it cost me $10, so whatever. And it's furious black metal, so when they're actually playing, you can't really tell. Yeah, it sounds how it looks. Like, there was lots of bands around that time that had basically this back cover art with the 4 band photos of 4 people looking evil, and that gothic Germanic font, and a cover like that. Dime a dozen, but often they were good fun. And yes, I took Brain Smasher's recommendation on this one and picked up the LP in its beaten up glory. So that's Isgrim. And the last one for this update. I always tend to put the traditional heavy metal or speed metal at the end, and today is no exception. Prophets of Doom. How good is that cover? Access to Wisdom. Quite an interesting speed / heavy metal album. This a one and done band. This is all they ever did. Think they're I was recorded in Denmark, manufactured in Germany. Guess they're a European band. I don't think I looked that up. But there was so many bands at this time doing this kind of proto speed metal and more ferocious heavy metal sound that a band like Prophets of Doom was just going to get lost in the noise. It's from about like 83 or 4. Am I wrong? It actually says 89. My God, no wonder I got lost in the sound. 1989, and they were playing this kind of this style when we were already in the and Justice for All era Metallica, and these guys were doing this. But that's really good in the capacity now to be able to go back and find these bands. And I just saw this thing on the shelf, and I thought that looks pretty cool. Read up a little bit, popped my mobile phone headphones in, listened to it on YouTube for 30 seconds, and thought, yep, that'll do, and picked it up. And it wasn't very expensive either, so really happy to find it. Take it home and give a spin to the Prophets of Doom. Speaking of Doom, this world we live in right now, oh well, it'll get better. It's fine. So everybody, anyway, stay safe out there. Keep your 1.5 meters distance. Don't cough on everybody. Wash your fucking hands, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, see you all in the next update, which I'm not too sure what will be at this point. The Aussie dollar is doing these ones right now, which makes importing music and movies more painful than it was before. So purchases may be more locally based for a while, or bargains that I can pick up, but that's fun as well. So anyway, I will speak to you in the next one. Thanks for watching.